Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Now, this is just a quick lesson on how Esau is revealing that that they got secret programs and used to chasing the so-called UFOs, which are the cherriots according to the scriptures. Now, and ultimately, in reality, that's just the Lord bringing this truth out, man. And through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, we've been doing this for the longest, But it's time for I guess another part of these people out here to wake up. But this is Psalms chapter 85, verse 11. It says, "Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven." Right. The truth is that the government knows about these UFOs, man, and that they've been chasing them, and trying to figure out their ways and all that. But they've been doing it way before 2007, man. And through the spirit of Habashim Shai, the apostles and their teachers been stating this and mentioning this since 1970s, man. It's just you people that's slow to waking up to it, man. But it says UFO allegedly photographed by airliner passenger over Mexico City in the city 1950s. Right now, just a couple of years ago, I was always bringing this out, and through the spirit, we was doing the same thing right along with the rest of the brothers. That over in South America, that's where a lot of the activity of the UFOs happen. That's where you see a lot of UFOs and everything at, man. It says the Pentagon spent $22 million to study UFOs in a 2007 to 12 program whose existence has been confirmed by the Department of Defense. An official formerly in charge of the program told media it remains alive to this day. Right, they're not gonna end them programs, man. The programs is one way of helping them figure out how they're gonna fight against the Lord, man. That's why Ronald Reagan built the Star Wars program, man. Let me see. In the scriptures, it calls it its nest. That's in Obadiah. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 4. It says, "Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though the eagle is Esau's symbol, and though thou set thy nest among the stars." This nest is talking about the Star Wars program. So this program that they got has been ran with the military is in accordance to them trying to fight against the Lord, man, because you got to gather intelligence, and then you got to figure out how you're gonna fight against whatever you're coming up against, man. And over the years, they've been bringing out there's been a lot of videos of them trying to shoot at the UFOs, shoot laser beams, and all that type of shit. Now, but they know they power can't match it, man. So what they're doing now is like duplicating it. They trying to make their own UFOs or make images of UFOs so they can act as if they can fight against it. The shit that they put in the movies, man, or that they got control and shit, man. Because once you figure out that there's UFOs, then you got more questions. But then that's when the apostles and the prophets come in at, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, that's what we come in at, man. Yahweh is how we have the elect. We come in and we edify the temple on, what it is, man. It says the secretive program which the U.S. Department of Defense has been keeping under wraps was brought to light in simultaneous reports by Politico and the New York Times on Saturday, citing interviews with people involved or with knowledge of the program, as well as contracts and Pentagon and congressional records. It says these programs been around for the longest, man. It says Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program was led by former military intelligence official Luis Elizondo. See, it's part of the military intelligence because that's a threat unto them because it's ultimately the downfall of their kingdom. It says, who resigned from the Pentagon on October 4th. In his resignation letter to Defense Secretary James Mattis, seen by Politico and the New York Times, he lamented the lack of funding for the project and the fact that it continues to be shrouded in mystery, away from the public eye. Right, man. It says Pentagon spokesperson Donna White, cited by Politico, confirmed that the program existed up until 2012, when it was wrapped up as there were other higher priority issues that merited funding, she said, adding that it was in the Pentagon's best interest to redirect funds. Right, so one, the program didn't get wrapped up. Two, the program is not going to lose funding because Esau been putting all this money into his military anyway. Even though there's been probably cutbacks, if there's been cutbacks, number one priority with America is wage war, bringing this new world order. So a lot of their money is going to their military and to ultimately fight against Yahweh Shema Shai, man. So a lot of these news articles, you have to be spiritual when you're reading them. You got to go back to the scriptures. It says, however, Elizondo said that even without its generous funding, the program was still alive, telling the New York Times that he was working with CIA and Navy officials on the issue up to his resignation upon leaving the Pentagon. Elizondo said he left a successor to keep running the program, but did not reveal their name. It says research within the program, which was initially launched at the behest of Harry Reid, the Senate Majority Leader in 2007, was carried out by private contractor Bigelow Aerospace, a company owned by Reid's close friend and firm believer in extraterrestrial life. And it's talking about the angels. It's not no little green men. It says billionaire report Bigelow, the company, and they're black. Just read Ezekiel, the first chapter. It says billionaire report Bigelow. It says the company and its subcontractors would store supposed pieces of UFO wreckage in specially repurposed buildings, collect witnesses' accounts, and study those who claimed to have encountered the objects to detect potential physiological changes, if I'm not mistaken. Right, and no, y'all don't have no UFOs. No, they don't have no UFOs, nothing. The angels make the chariots. It said re-enlisted support of two other lawmakers. It said Ted Stevens, the late Republican senator from Alaska, and Democrat Daniel K. Inouye, representing Hawaii. Let me read that again. It says re-enlisted support of two other lawmakers, Ted Stevens and it says the late Republican senator from Alaska and Democrat Daniel K. Inouye, representing Hawaii. Stevens, who was the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, claimed to have had an encounter with an unidentified object when he served in the U.S. Air Force. The program's funding, Reid believed, should not have not been debated publicly in Congress. Esau gonna keep all that shit under wraps, man. They're not finna bring all that information out. It says from 2008 to 2011, Bigelow Aerospace landed nearly $22 million for Congress for the purpose of its extensive research and evaluating threats coming from the objects, according to the contracts cited by the paper. One of the encounters examined within the program was a 2004 incident over San Diego involving two FA-18 F fighter jets and an unidentified white object. It says the detailed account of the encounter was given by Chris Mellon, a former member of Senate Intelligence Committee who is engaged in a new initiative spearheaded by Elizondo called To the Stars Academy in Arts and Science, right? You know, and a lot of us brothers know that think these chariots. That's how we know they real, man. It says two F-18s approached the four aviators. See the object has no wings or exhaust. It is white, oblong, some 40 feet long, and perhaps 12 feet thick. Mellon said, describing the incident at the launch of the project that is aimed at deepening the research into the UFOs in October. It says, as the pilots attempted to chase the aircraft, it turned toward to the jets, only to take a position behind them in a few moments in what Mellon called a series tumbling maneuvers that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Right, so if they defy the laws of physics, and Esau can't defy the laws of physics. That's why they make programs like that, to figure out how they're going to fight against it. It says, on an undated video of another incident provided by Pentagon and published by the Times, an oval-shaped object the size of a plane is seen rotating in the air at a high speed, to the apparent disbelief of the pilots, who say that there was a whole fleet of them. Right. So that's why, if you ever wonder why they make the movies like Independence Day, I think there's a movie called Extraterrestrial. I was just watching that. I think it's, Extraterrestrial. It's on Showtime. They show the chariots, and they got the little green men, but that ain't true. The angels are black men. They have witness accounts actually stating that the angels are black men or men of brown skin. It says, speaking at the conference in October, Elizondo told the public that during the years of managing the program, he became convinced that the UFO phenomenon indeed is real. Reed, who is not retired, also said that he believed that developing the program was a right thing to do. It says, I think it's one of the good things I did in my congressional service. I've done something that no one has done before. Okay, it says, okay, yeah. So I can cut it there, man. Ultimately, they coming out with this information because the Lord got the truth springing from the earth, man. Because he on his way back to deliver his elect, man, and to destroy this place. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Right, so when you see roll in the scripture, that's talking about a chariot. If you see cloud in the scripture, it's talking about a chariot, man. You just got to be spiritual and discern. It says, and he that, hold on. In Psalms chapter 104, verse 3, who led the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Right, so the clouds are the Lord's chariots. All right, this back to Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll, and the length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. Right. So this is Zechariah saying he see a chariot, Slakia. It says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Right. So the chariots are a curse unto this world, man. That's why Esau getting prepared for it, man. That's why they invented the Star Wars program, man. And all the nations are going to have to come and fight against, are going to try to fight against the coming of Yahweh Shai, man. It says, For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side. Right, and who stole? This Edomite devil white man, man. Did what? He stole our land and everything, man. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on the side according to it. And they swore on the Bible. It says, I will bring it forth. They swore on the Bible and didn't hold not one law, statute, commandment, judgment, nothing in it, man. That's why homosexuals, transgenders got rights. The RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, is being pushed. All that, man. It says, I will bring it forth, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swear falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. So ultimately, America gonna be destroyed, man. You know, and right along with America, you got some nations that's gonna be destroyed also, because it's the curse that goeth forth over the whole earth, man. This is Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, with chariots, so-called UFOs, and every eye shall see him. Right, so everybody gonna see Yahweh Shai when he come back, man. And they also which pierced him, which is an example of reincarnation. Those guys that pierced Yahweh Shai is gonna see him on this side. And all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Because they gonna understand the truth, man. Because we've been telling them that this was the downfall and destruction of this kingdom for the wickedness. And the Lord gonna wake them up to it, man. And they gonna understand that this is their time for their judgment. It's like it. This is Psalms chapter 68, verse 20. Nope, 68 and 17. It said, The chariots of the Most High, Yahweh Shemel Shar, 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. Right, so when the Lord come back, you're going to be coming back with 20,000, even thousands of angels, man. And y'all people going to be in fear, man. So that's it for the video. All praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well. And salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Shalom.